Welcome to Television Sydney News. I'm Alex Pleffer. It's great to have you with us. In this week's bulletin, police continue to investigate a spate of Western Sydney shootings. Sydney suburbs remember those who fought and fell in war, and a touch of tartan comes to the Southern Highlands. But first, a man has been charged with murder over the disappearance of Auburn man Genghis Sarak. The 29-year-old was arrested at his Central Coast home on Monday. He was refused bail to appear before Wyong local court. Mr Sarak disappeared in 2005 and police recently carried out extensive excavations in the backyard of a Marylands home in a bid to find the 24-year-old's remains. Police are continuing to investigate a spate of shootings in Western Sydney in the past week. Shots were fired into a Rouse Hill home on Thursday night in what police believe was a case of mistaken identity. 20 minutes later, a house in Ashburn Close, Bella Vista was also shot at. New South Wales Deputy Police Commissioner Nick Caldas said the Bella Vista shooting appeared to be linked to 5 other shootings in the past week on the homes of members of the Hells Angels and Nomad motorcycle clubs. Meanwhile, police charged a 20-year-old Guildford man and 22-year-old Ryde man in relation to an alleged shooting in Marylands last week. Police also had further success in their war against gun crime this week when they seized more than 200 rifles in 2 raids. A Granville home and a storage facility in Guildford were searched and officers seized cash, cigarettes and weapons, including a rifle, 51 knuckle dusters, an electric cattle prod and pistols. Also in police news, 2 men charged with assaulting and robbing 2 Chinese citizens on a Rockdale-bound train on Monday were refused bail this week. Thousands of people have expressed their disgust at the alleged assaults on Chinese social networking sites. 19-year-olds Luke Clayton of Port Kembla and Christopher Jenkins of Plumpton have been charged with aggravated robbery. Both are due to appear in court in June. And Campbelltown may soon have its first gun shop. Abella's Gun Shop has submitted a development application to Campbelltown Council to refit a shop to sell guns, lead shot, clay targets and similar equipment. Managing Director David Abella said there was a big local customer base, but Mayor Annalak Chanthavong says he can't see how a gun shop fits within a suburban community like Campbelltown. The council has referred the application to the police for comment. Record numbers of St George and Sutherland Shire residents braved the chilly weather on Wednesday to remember those who fought and fell in war. About 5,000 people attended Miranda's Anzac Day dawn service to watch veterans take part in the annual march led by St Patrick's College Band, and more than 200 people attended Club River's 5:30 a.m. service in Riverwood, a turnout well up on previous years.
This year is probably more than I've seen ever at one of the dawn services. It was tremendous, a lot of young people as well, and possibly the weather conditions had something to do with that, but no, it was, I'd say, probably a good 15 to 20% up on most other years.
Riverwood Sub-Branch President Dick Matthews served with the Air Force from 1951 to 1960.
So remembering all who served during the war and in all conflicts, and I think it's fitting that we should have it every year and keep up the tradition.
8-year-old Australian Air League cadet Jake Bailey was chosen to lay a wreath at the dawn service and said it was the earliest he had ever woken up.
It's alright, but I don't like the cold.
Hurstville Council has big plans for its CBD. The vision includes office blocks and high-rise buildings bordered by high-density residential developments. Hurstville Mayor Steve McMahon said they wanted to be the jobs capital of South Sydney. But Parramatta's Lord Mayor Lorraine Wern insists Parramatta won't give up its crown as Sydney's second CBD to any rival centres. She said no other council area in Western Sydney had as much going for it as Parramatta in terms of location, transport, business and growth. Oyster Bay residents are concerned after barricades were placed around several houses in their street last week. The houses in Georges River Road were abandoned after a nearby Shell service station was declared significantly contaminated in 2007. Shell has brought 5 properties close to the site to help with remediation, but concerns escalated after several residents moved out of the street without warning. Resident Brad Lovegrove said he spoke to the council last week and was told the 4 barricaded houses would be demolished. A Shell spokesman said that the company had notified residents that the environmental works would take place this month. Transport Minister Gladys Berejiklian has announced plans for a $15 million upgrade to Fairfield Station's transport interchange. The upgrade will increase capacity for buses and improve the area at the front of the station, including moving the taxi rank and pedestrian crossing. The Minister urged local residents to have their say on the project, and information booths will be outside the station from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. on Tuesday. Moorebank could soon become the freight capital of New South Wales. A freight hub which will hold 1.5 million shipping containers could start to be developed from 2015 after the federal government committed to proceed immediately. A second private freight terminal proposed for the same area would bring the total to 2.5 million shipping containers, more than the current freight movement in Port Botany. Developers say once the hub is operating, it will take 3,300 trucks off Sydney's roads each day. Hundreds of Sutherland Shire families are preparing to take part in the 11th Relay for Life next weekend. More than $200,000 has been pledged towards the annual 24-hour charity walk and carnival so far this year. The event has raised more than $3 million since it started 10 years ago. Relay for Life will be held at Sylvania Waters Athletics Track next weekend. And in sport, West Pennant Hills residents Colleen and Alex Thompson have etched their name into the history books, becoming the first mother and son to win Australian titles at the National Barefoot Water Ski Titles. 19-year-old Alex won the men's 2 category, while Colleen won the 55 years and over Super Veterans class. The best 80 skiers in the nation spent 1 week exhibiting their speed, skills and courage on the Georges River at Liverpool during the contest. And Western Sydney was well represented at Australia's biggest Highland fling on Saturday. The Southern Highlands town of Bundanoon became Brigadoon for the day, and Christina Pollard was on hand to report on the festivities.
The sleepy town of Bundanoon came alive with the sound of bagpipes during its annual Brigadoon celebrations. Based on a mythical Scottish town that appears once every 100 years, thousands of people travel to the annual event featuring more than 300 pipers and drummers, as well as traditional Highland games and dancing. Playing on the day were 25 members of the Parramatta RSL Caledonian Pipe Band, some of whom have been going to Brigadoon for 30 years.
They love playing the pipes, they love getting in the uniform, and the atmosphere down here is fantastic.
And of course, no Highland gathering would be complete without kilts, tartan and haggis burgers.
It smells good. I don't know, I'll give it a shot. Yeah, it's pretty good.
I'll be kilting up later, taking off the undergarments and off I go.
I'm just enjoying the whole day. It's quite surreal. In fact, it's a bit like a Scottish gay Mardi Gras.
There's Highland dancing, there's bagpipes, there's stalls, there's just nice people, nice food. Yeah, it's just a good little day out.
Bands from Campbelltown and Burwood were also on hand to represent Western Sydney, where they received a true Cade meal vulture, or 100,000 welcomes from Brigadoon. Christina Pollard, Television Sydney News.
That's all we have time for here at Television Sydney News. For more information, pick up your local Fairfax newspaper. I'll see you next time.